Hello, my friends, and welcome to Paulina Art. Today, I bring you this beautiful scenery that I call Journey Through Quarantine. It sounds like a contradiction, journey through quarantine, but for me, it really isn't. For me, it's been a journey that came abruptly without preparation. I was not prepared for this. It's like I'm living in a different place where I can't see my loved ones or my friends. Every time I go out, I risk getting very, very sick. When I go to the store, I don't always find the things that I'm looking for. And basically, I'm supposed to stay inside in my home otherwise. At the beginning of my quarantine, I have to admit that I was scared, and I even had a little bit of a mini meltdown one evening, and it was a good thing for me. It was a good thing to acknowledge and accept my feelings of fear and despair, because I was able to move on. I wasn't afraid for myself really, but I was afraid for my daughter, for my grandson, for the future of this planet, for the unexpected, for what was to happen. As the weeks have gone by, I have developed a few strategies to keep me happy, to keep me sane, to keep me going. And today, while I do this painting, I would like to share with you those strategies. I'm not here to tell you what to do because everybody's circumstances might not be the same. I only want to share with you what I've done. And I hope, if anything, you enjoy this painting. It's very easily done. I have no pattern to give you to attach for this painting, because when I started this painting, I did not know how it was going to turn out. It is my journey through these unknown times we're going through. And it's, as it turned out, I like what I see. I see the light at the end. If you would like to see how I did this painting, stay with me and let's paint together. Today I'm working on an 11 by 14 canvas board that I prepared the night before with a coat of gesso. I felt this painting deserves a little more reverence. This is the reason why I chose a nice large canvas board. I don't have a pattern for you because I don't know what this painting is going to look like. I encourage all of you to paint your own journey. Of course, they're all going to look different. Today I'm using a couple of round brushes. I'm using my liner brush. I'm using a little palette knife, and mainly I'll be using these two sponges. It's going to be very easy, free-flowing painting that I want to create. On my palette, I have my Patina, my Vintage White, and my Look at Me Blue. And from those colors, I've created different shades of the blues. And with my round sponge, I'm going to start applying the background. I want the center to be lighter, and I want it to get darker as we expand into the outside of the canvas. The first thing for me is to stay positive, to stay in a positive frame of mind in this quarantine journey. And to stay positive is really a mind and body combination. To stay positive, it requires action. So what I do is I get up early every day, I do my bed, I tidy up, I get dressed. I wear comfortable clothes, but I do get dressed every day, do my hair. Staying positive is really important under the circumstances. It all starts with the decision of staying positive. So the conscious decision that you make, but then your actions have to follow. The body has to follow the mind. And when you act positive by getting up early and doing the things you need to do, then you will start feeling more positive. I now have my lime green on my palette, and I'm going to use the same sponge to add a little bit of grass at the bottom. And for that, I'm going to go in a horizontal way. Taking care of myself is also very important. It helps me stay positive when I feel happy and healthy. In order to take care of myself, I do a little bit of exercise. I love walking. That's my favorite form of exercise. But where I live in Canada, we've had a very long, cold winter, and it's just starting to get nice just early this week. So what I do is I do some exercise videos. I'm lucky that I have room in my house that I can put my yoga mat and do my yoga videos or a dance video. Okay, now I'm gonna use this palette and I'm gonna make a little bit of a road coming from here. Exercise always makes me feel better, in a better mind frame. It gets the blood flowing and releases a lot of stress for me. For my road, I'm gonna mix with my palette knife a little bit of white, and I'm gonna add a little bit of black in there and some of my patina as well. I'm gonna do a road starting from here. Eating right is very important for me as well. It's definitely part of taking care of myself. When I get up in the mornings, I'm usually not hungry, but I have a small but nutritious breakfast, and I always make sure I make a beautiful dinner at night for my husband and I. We don't miss going out to restaurants because I always make sure I make something nutritious and delicious for us. I always loved cooking, and now that I'm home, I have lots of time to make really nice dinners every night. You don't have to overwork the paint when you're using a palette knife. That's the beauty of the palette knife. You want it, the palette knife. It creates a lot of texture. My road is coming from the back. I wanted to give the effect that it's turning a little bit. So besides exercising and eating right, part of taking care of myself for me is to make time for myself, to do the things that I love doing just for me, like having a nice hot bath, maybe applying a conditioning mask to my hair, doing my nails, just having me time. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of my patina in here on the road, a little bit more blue. I have teal in my palette now. With the same sponge, I'm gonna apply on the back here to create some greenery on the back of the painting. For me, it's really important to maintain myself in form without falling prey of the media. If you listen to the news every day, they only tell you bad things. I choose to keep informed, but I choose what I listen to as well. I'm going to put a little bit of lighter in this area. I've been reading a lot as well about pandemics that have affected the planet at different times in history. And I find that has diminished my fear, because people back then, they didn't know what we know, and yet they got over it, they got through it, and life as we know it kept going on. Viruses have a lot of things in common, and I think instead of increasing my fear, it has actually diminished my fear to know how viruses work. I'm going to add a little bit of lighter greenery at the front using the same sponge, the same way. I'm going to add a few little bushes around here with my Look at Me blue, just to create a little dimension in here, add a little more color. This has been a great time for me to catch up on my reading, on all the books that I've been meaning to read, but they have been collecting dust on my night table. I love to read historical novels because then I love history and I learn so much, so many interesting historical events when I read my historical novels. One of my favorite writers is Isabel Allende. She's a Chilean writer. Her books have been translated into many languages. I also like to read books that make me understand how so many people have gone through hardship in life and have overcome all of this, have overcome hardship. One of my favorite writers is Viktor Frankl, especially his book, Man in Search of Meaning. He was a psychiatrist in Vienna and ended up in the concentration camps in Second World War. And he talks about his experiences in the book and how his positive thinking and looking ahead to a brighter future, thinking about a brighter future ahead and knowing that things would change, kept him alive. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in this area to add some dimension to my painting. Another great book is called Prisoners of Our Thoughts. This is based on Viktor Frankl's teachings. It's not written by him, but it is based on his teachings. It's a great book too. I think I'm going to start adding some tree trunks to my painting because I want some trees in here. For the tree trunks, I'm going to use my berry wine, my licorice, and my vintage white. I'm going to mix a color an interesting color for my tree trunks, and I think I like this one. And I'm using my round brush that has a little bit of a point. I'm going to start doing my trees in here. I think the ones at the front, I'm going to make them lighter. I'm going to pick up some of my light color. Another thing that is very important to me is to stay in touch with my family and with my friends. Since I can't see them, it's important to me to talk to them every day. There's so much technology nowadays that you can keep in touch with everyone. You can see them over the phone, on the computer. I talk to my little grandson every day. I miss him so much. And I stay in touch with my friends. Haven't seen any of my friends for 7-8 weeks. I've been in quarantine for 7 weeks now. I've only been out a few times to get groceries, and that's about it. I used to make a point to meet my friends for lunch or for coffee. Just those mundane things, they were a wonderful thing, really, and now they have even more value to me. But I know we'll resume our gatherings once the fear is gone. I'm doing my trees in this area a little bit darker because I want to create the feeling of distance. I want these ones to be closer to me, so I'm making them darker. Want my branches to have a lot of movement. The trees at the front are larger and darker. Doing some little trees at the front that they look very light because the light is showing in this area, and to create the effect of distance. The light is going to be coming from here, so I'm going to put the light on my trees coming this way, and for that I'm going to use my white with a little bit of my berry wine. Another thing that has been really important to me during this time is, of course, my art. Creating sets me free. Truly, it does. It fulfills my soul. It's my therapy, my passion. I'm the happiest when I'm creating something, when I'm painting. I feel very blessed to have my art in these critical times. When I'm painting, I don't think about anything negative. It's almost like a meditation for me, really. It heals me in ways that I'm not even conscious. With my liner brush, I'm gonna start adding some of my light branches. At times, when I'm feeling a little bit down, what I do is count my blessings. I am healthy. I have a beautiful, spacious home. I have food. I have heat. I have my husband with me. He's extremely supportive. He's very strong emotionally. I am so blessed to have him in my life. I have 2 beautiful cats that make me laugh all the time. My pets are healthy. I have food for them. Everyone in my family is healthy. Everybody's doing well. One of my cousins actually was sick with what they believe was a virus. He was hospitalized. Thank God he's okay now. He's been released and he's doing fine. When my trees dry, I'm going to add a little bit of light at the end of my road here, because I know there is light at the end of the road. Just with my brush. I have a little bit of gray on my round brush that I mix a little bit of my teal, my black, and my white. And I'm going to start creating a little bit of shadow that the trees are casting on the road to add more dimension to the painting. With my sponge, I'm going to add a little bit of bushes around the trees, and I'm using my lime green. I want bright, springy colors. This quarantine for me has been emotionally and actually like a long, dark, cold winter. I mean, it's been a long, cold winter where I live in Canada. And this is why I want this painting to look like a new beginning, a happy spring road. I'm going to start adding color to my trees. I want some of my trees to be green and some of them to be like nice cherry blossoms. I'm going to start with the back. I think that's going to work out well. And for the back, I'm going to add a little bit of a lighter pink with my berry wine and my vintage white. I'm going to add some green with my teal and lime green. And this tree, I want this one to be another cherry blossom. And I'm going to add more green on this one. With this larger sponge, I'm going to add some bright little flowers down here. And for that, I'm going to use my Look at Me blue. What this sponge creates are the effect of larger leaves or flowers. Look how beautiful that looks. So I'm going to keep this for the front more so. With my round brush, I'm going to add a little bit of grass in some areas of the road in here. A little bit of yellow at the back. When you're painting something like this, don't be afraid of color. The more colorful it is, the more lively it will look, I think. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow on the road as if the sun is shining through the leaves. I'm going to add some larger leaves in here with my berry wine and the large sponge. A little bit of highlight to my blue flowers with my teal. I'm going to add a little bit of highlight to my trees. For my cherry blossoms, I'm using my bright pink with a little bit of white with the same large sponge. Last but not least of my strategies is positive thinking, which is one of the things I've learned from reading Viktor Frankl's books. Just picture a brighter future that is coming soon. The light at the end of the tunnel. Think of the times that I'm going to meet with my family again, with my friends. The simple things that I used to take for granted, and now they seem so amazing to me. Having the hope for a brighter future is really, really important for me at this time. Sometimes the light seems dim at the end of the tunnel, but I know it's there. I see it. I see the light shining, and this is another one of my strategies that keeps me thinking in a positive way, keeps me happy and moving forward. My friends, I'm coming to an end with this painting. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It is more hopeful and bright painting than I expected it to be. I'm quickly going to review the strategies that I'm using currently to cope with my quarantine. You do your own painting, my friends, of your own quarantine journey. I hope that what I talked today might have inspired you in some way. If you enjoyed, give this video a like, share it with your friends, comment on the box below. Let me know how you're doing. How is your quarantine journey going? Keep happy, keep safe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.